heaps of people were kind of like, that's a really cool idea, you should make a thing of it. So one day I sat down at home with a beer and I just sat there. I bought Dogecoin.com. That's a bit funny. And I slapped the Doge face onto a coin and just put it live. And I wake up the next day to heaps of retweets. And my co-founder, who's based up in Portland, had messaged me and said, hey, I found that you can change I forked the Bitcoin source code or the Litecoin source code, and you can change the font to Comic Sans. I'm like, ooh, okay, we got to do this. Like, that's hilarious.
Let's move on to Bitcoin, shall we? That's a virtual
Bitcoin has now almost overtaken
an all-time high this week of $900. Now, at its peak, if you had have invested $1,000 a year,
Hey everybody, Chris here. Welcome on a Friday night. How is everyone doing? Tonight we're going to be talking about Dogecoin FUD. There's just so much out there that if people would just take a few minutes and do a little research, you could find out for yourself all of this stuff. But people don't. People are generally lazy. They believe crap that they hear and they just pile on the bandwagon and just say, Doge is crap for this reason or that reason, whatever. So we're going to be covering some of that tonight on what are mistruths, FUD about Dogecoin. And as we are live, you can drop some questions in the chat on some things you may be thinking about or wondering about Doge, something you might have heard or are unsure of. Leave it in the chat. And I'll do my best to answer live. And if I can't, I will definitely follow up with you because everything's out there. All the information is out there. We just need to clarify a few things. But first, we got to talk about this and what that purple box is, what those red candles are as Doge did drop below 7 cents. So let me drop down in the corner here and we will talk about Doge. How's everyone doing? Jason, hey. Welcome. Mars, you made it. Jack, all right, thank you. Bulldozer, hello. Welcome. Thought the intro was fire. Yeah, I have a little fun with my intros. And that was a good one. Pieced together a couple things. One was Mr. Jackson Palmer there at the beginning, who completely stepped away from the Dogecoin project. He actually left for a while, came back for a bit, and then left for good and just had it with the whole cryptocurrency industry. And Billy Marcus, yeah, he had stepped away also and then kind of came back, but not really. And he just has sort of a tongue-in-cheek kind of approach to cryptocurrencies now and thinks it's all still kind of a joke, just like he did in 2013 when he and Jackson started Dogecoin. But actually, Dogecoin's a pretty good cryptocurrency. I mean, Billy did a really good job making the cryptocurrency. And of course, everyone sort of improved it. It was modified in about 2014, if I recall, Billy saying, to change a few things that sort of needed to be ironed out because so many people were enjoying the cryptocurrency back then. Doge, 2014. Good times and a lot of good being done as well with Doge. So we will get in with all of that. David, hey, welcome. Good to see you. Jeffrey, what is going on? Well, here's what I think in terms of the chart here. We did have a little bit of a drop in the Bitcoin. So the Bitcoin had been above 34K and it did drop down. And all of that happened right after noontime. And as far as I can tell, a lot of this was just tied to pretty much the economy. I mean, S&P 500 and the NASDAQ dropped and stocks dropped. And I think this time Bitcoin and crypto went with it. And you know what wasn't dropping was gold. I mean, look at this gold chart. Gold took off. At that same time, when Bitcoin was dropping, cryptos were dropping, the stocks were dropping, look what gold did. Just went on a run up over $2,000 an ounce for gold. I think a lot of this is just threat of war. And when it comes to war, gold is the safe haven. And so you get a lot of people moving their investments into the safe things like gold. So that's what we saw today. Gold. And this started right at 12:45, 1 o'clock, 1:15, this is a 15-minute chart here, and 2 o'clock. And that's when gold went on its run. And that's when Bitcoin started its drop right there, 12:45, 1 o'clock, 1:30, 2 o'clock. So that's when Bitcoin was going down. And so that's when Doge went down as well during that same time period. So that's what we saw all going on at the same time. If we zoom out a little on the chart, let's look at the 2-hour. Generally what we had here, and this is what I was looking at. Now, when we were on the live stream on Monday, I had predicted that what I thought could happen was if Dogecoin could get up above 7 cents, which it did shortly after we got off the stream on Monday night. Well, I guess that was back here, right? I'm sorry, this is Wednesday. On Wednesday night. That if Dogecoin was able to get up over 7 cents, there was a possibility that 7 cents could become support. Doge could move up, and I was guessing around 7.5 cents. And being optimistic, Doge could come down, retest 7 cents, and then move on up. And then that happened actually really quickly. So by Thursday morning, Doge had already hit 7.5 cents, had come back to retest 7, moved back up, came back, retested again. And then this morning, I was thinking, yeah, that's not looking good for Doge. It just didn't look good. And Doge did break down below 7 cents. But it's not bad. In this range here, this purple box that I've drawn here, this is essentially the area where Doge did not have enough trading in this area. Doge, every time Dogecoin goes on a big run, not every time, most times, when Doge goes on a big run, there's a lot of liquidity in an area where it just trades right past. And many times it has to come back down and retest those areas. And so when Doge went on this big run right up over 7 cents, I don't think it's any surprise now, because that happened so fast that Doge comes down and it retests these areas. So that's what's happening. And that's all it is. It has nothing to do with Dogecoin. It just for a coin has nothing to do with that. Nothing bad about Dogecoin. This is just the markets, and this is just trading, regardless of what this cryptocurrency is. That is what it's just trading. So Doge is still a great cryptocurrency. Doge is going to do great. This is just trading. That's all it is. And as I showed before, we had gold go on this big run. Let me come back to the 15-minute chart. We had gold go on this big run today. And so cryptocurrencies did the opposite. Cryptocurrencies dropped. And that was, again, investors moving money into safe haven because of another war. That's as simple as it is. So that's what I see going on there. As Mars says, price go up, price go down, enjoy the ride to at least a stinking no good dollar. Yeah, probably more. Eventually, we'll get there. What's happening though, and it's kind of interesting that the dollar isn't worth the same thing now as the dollar was in 2021 when we thought Doge was going to go to $1. So maybe it's easier to reach $1 now because it's not worth this. I don't know. That's inflation. If you keep comparing a cryptocurrency to the dollar, you end up with this kind of loop of, do you really want to compare it to something that's not stable? But there isn't anything that's stable anymore. Gold is probably more stable than the dollar now. It's crazy. A lot of people talking about the BTC pairs, but look, BTC's moving. And so when BTC moves, if your crypto doesn't move right exactly with it, then the pairs get off. So that is, so that's what's going on. And we've been looking at this Dogecoin Bitcoin pair more recently because I think at this point Doge has reached its bottom with the Doge BTC pair. Now here it is at 20. So now it's right at 20. But if I zoom back out to the 2-hour chart, we can see what we were talking about on the stream on Wednesday. When it came back down and it hit 19, I was like, that is the bottom. Just looking at all of the charts, I was like, that's the bottom. And then we had Doge outperform Bitcoin through Thursday, but now it's dropped back a little bit. So right here we are at 20, and we'll see how the Doge BTC pair goes from here. But we'll see whether that's the bottom, comparing Dogecoin to Bitcoin. But for now, will Doge make its recovery back up and retest 7 cents? That will happen eventually. We'll see whether this weekend there's some positive trading in cryptos or not. Right now, the immediate news isn't great with the ground war with Israel and Gaza starting and all of that. Just not going to be positive news, I think, over the weekend. So, but cryptos have gone on runs before when there wasn't great economic or geopolitical news going on as well. So we'll see. So here we are, 678. Bulldozer upgraded his membership to the YouTube channel. Thank you. Thanks for the support. We're having fun. And for those that don't know, becoming a member allows you to take part in sharing of the profits of the Kriss Pax DCA portfolio. Still up over $10,000. So when we eventually sell this portfolio, hopefully at the top of the bull market, I will be sharing the profits with all of you with Dogecoin. I will be sending you Dogecoin, sharing the profits of this portfolio. I believe in this so much that I put $10,000 of my own, and now it's up. It's up $860 in the profit. Dogecoin is up about almost 10% because our average price of Doge that we put in here from July, August, September is 6.17 cents. Because we were buying Doge down there. Because I was so certain that we were hitting the bottom of the bear market. And that's what we got. And look at that. The Bitcoin we bought, we're up 25% already on that. And the Ethereum, we're up 8.5% on that. And look at the render. We're up 56% on the render, thanks to Toss. Because back in July, we were together in the chat. We were figuring out which cryptos we were going to buy. And Toss was the one who said, Kriss, get some render. So we got some render. Should have bought more, obviously, up 56%. Render just keeps going up. I mean, our average price of render is $1.45, and now it's at $2.31. So that was good timing on our render buy. But yeah, where do you think this portfolio is going to be a year from now or a year and a half from now when we're into 2025 and we're in the big bull run? Now, if you listen to Mr. Low Roller Scratcher, crypto's almost over, which means this could be the last bull run, right? So let's have a good bull run and then sell all of our crypto and enjoy the profits. I don't think crypto's almost over, though, personally. But we will be taking some profits in the next bull run. I mean, you hear all of these other analysts, influencers, all talking about what's the price of Bitcoin going to be by the end of the year, by the halving, the end of 2024, top of the bull run. They're all pretty lofty dollar figures that they're predicting. So at a minimum, Doge is going to move with Bitcoin. But because of the catalysts that we have, specifically for Dogecoin, from SpaceX to Tesla to X-Twitter, and who knows what else, Doge could go even higher. When Doge goes on a run, we've seen it can just keep flying. So we're waiting for that. Any thoughts on Luna Classic, Meng? As well, I am not gambling with Luna Classic. It's a dead chain. It's a dead chain. So all of the trading that's happening with it is just gambling, in my opinion. So could it trade up? Who knows? Who knows? Jack, why do you think all the other crap coins have been going up way higher than Doge? We've all seen far less popular cryptos do a 5-10x while Doge barely does 10. Well, that's because Doge is a top 10 coin. That's one of the reasons. And so it has a lot more volume of trading going on. It's a lot harder for Doge now to go on those big runs. There's really, there's more liquidity. I'll put it that way. There's more liquidity in the trading of Dogecoin. I mean, the volume here over 24 hours of $450 million of trading in a 24-hour volume period that's big trading. I mean, that's big time trading. And so it's hard for Doge to really go on that wild of a run that like a Floki or a Doge Elon Mars or a Pepe can do, because they don't have this kind of liquidity in its trading. So what can happen with the Floki is, because it's on these exchanges with low liquidity, you get a lot of big buys in, the price goes up faster. So that's why those tokens can move faster, but they can also drop faster too. And we've seen that with Pepe. We've seen it just dump. Doge can go down, but typically when Doge is going down quickly, the whole crypto market is dropping. We saw that a few times, particularly when there's these, big black swan events like Luna and Celsius, Voyager, FTX, but even little ones too. We've seen these big spikes down, but that's usually tied in with when Bitcoin is spiking down and others. Doge doesn't do it on its own. But a Floki could, or a Doge Elon Mars could, if somebody just dumps a bunch of tokens. But Doge has so much more liquidity, so much more trading going on, that it doesn't just dump when one person sells a bag of Dogecoin. So that's the difference there. Bitcoin needs to hit all-time highs first, and then alt season follows. That's right. And typically, the meme coin, meme tokens usually follow that. I see it, and I've talked about these actually 3 events that happen. First Bitcoin, then altcoins, and then the memes. That's what we've seen happen before. Back in 2021, Bitcoin hit its first high like in February of 2021 when it hit like 63, 64K, if I remember. And then we had all the altcoins moving from February to April. I mean, Algorand was like $1.75, $2, just crazy. And then Doge went on its run. And then eventually Sheeb went on a run. And then we had these other ones coming up too. And that all happened after the alts ran. Bitcoin went on another run later in 2021 up to 69K. But that's kind of what we see. And yes, I'm surprised Doge Elon Musk's still alive. You never know. And again, with these tokens, you just get some hype around it and it can move, but it can also drop too. So it's much riskier than Doge, in my opinion. Much riskier. So, hey, glad you caught the live. I have not bought any of those tokens. I don't believe in them. I believe in Doge. So I do not. I still have some Doge. Remember the Doge tokens? I still have some of those from a couple years ago sitting in a wallet somewhere. But no, I haven't bought any of those. And I haven't bought Pepe. And I know Miss Bull Run is mad at me for not buying in Pepe, but she's got some, and I hope she does well. I hope she does well with that. But yeah, I know Doge is dead. The devs are gone. It's like it's a dead thing, but people are still trading it. Who knows? But again, I had these tokens from a long time ago, and they were sitting in a wallet, and I just kind of forgot about it. And so I don't even know what it's worth anymore, to be honest with you. The old Doge thing. Yeah, but you never know. You never know. Billy Marcus said that Dogecoin is Bitcoin in dog clothes. And it's true. Yep, it is kind of like that. We'll talk about that in a few minutes and what that is. And you're also still stuffing your bag. This is a dip opportunity to buy. Could it go lower? I mean, it could. Bitcoin, I mean, people are talking for further dips in Bitcoin, maybe back down to 32, 31K, just retesting some lower numbers on the daily here. We had this big run up. So for many, and I'll add a line here. Actually, I should probably do it in a rectangle here. Would be this. That this range right here has not been traded for Bitcoin. There's a range here from about 31.4 up to 32.4, right in here, where Bitcoin had tipped the top of it back here in July. But this run that we just had here on Monday just went right past it. So I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin retested this area. Same thing as I just said for Dogecoin, between 6, 8, and 7 cents, even with Doge. But there was no trading here. It just zipped right past it. So yes, we could see a dip in Bitcoin coming down to retest, and we could see Doge then possibly coming down and retesting, maybe down to 6.5 again. But we'll see. But yeah, this estimate that I had here, optimistic estimate of 6, 7.5, retesting 7, and then moving up, that hasn't happened. It's broken down below that now. But I leave my marks on here. I'm truthful to my predictions, and that was optimistic. And I said it was an optimistic prediction there. but we dropped a little below. But overall, looking at the daily, it's not bad. This is still a really strong move for Doge. Kind of a bearish engulfing red candle there on the daily, yes. So we'll see. Right now we're still green on this new daily candle here, and so we'll see if that trades up. My guess is it's going to stay in this range probably, but we'll see. A few more chats and then we'll get into some of the FUD stuff. Yeah, Safe Moon. Yeah, David. Remember Safe Moon? I'm glad I sold the Safe Moon I had when I did. I made a profit on Safe Moon. I'm glad I got out when I did. Right when you start seeing that something is looking sketchy, it's like it's time to get out. Definitely time to get out. When are we going higher? Right now, it's going to be sideways, I think. I think this weekend, I'm guessing, is going to be sideways. And then Monday, all the hype about Bitcoin ETFs are going to start up again. It didn't happen this past week. A lot of rumors about it, but didn't happen. And next week, that'll all start up again. People were wondering, why didn't you sell Dogecoin at 7.5 cents? You could have rebought it back here at 6.8. It's like, do you really want to be out of your crypto when there's a chance that there could be some big event that causes crypto to go on another run and you're sitting on the sidelines in the middle of a swing trade? Not worth it at this point. And this isn't really a huge move, so yeah, I'm not into that kind of trading anymore. I used to do that, but now I'm like, I'm not sitting on the sidelines when this thing takes off, because it is going to take off. Gala, yeah, the Gala devs are suing each other, and it's just like, do you really want to be into? I mean, they had such a great thing going. Why? I mean, they really are messing up their own project, is what they're doing. But, I mean, bear markets, these kinds of things happen. So that's too bad. I got out of Gala. I had some Gala earlier in the year, and I got out of it. As soon as that happened, it's like, I'm out. I'm out. And I bought Render. And look what Render did. I mean, Render's chart is just amazing. Now at 232. I mean, it's just been up and up and up. Look at the daily chart on Render. Just up. That's some pretty strong trading there in still a bearish market. I don't think Scala is going to go to $1. I don't think so. But good luck. Good luck if you're holding. Shorting Doge is risky, yes. DCA, hold for the big run the Doge is eventually going to go on. I mean, that's the safest way to do it. If you want to take a little bit and do some swing trading or something, but shorting Doge, that's a tough. I mean, there have been so many shorts that have gotten liquidated on Doge when they were sure the Doge price was going to go lower, and it just kept going up. I mean, we saw that here on Monday because Doge went on this run up to 6.7, and then a bunch of shorts opened, and guess what? They got wrecked because Doge kept moving up to 7.5 cents. So, yeah. I wish I could smell that cornbread. Sounds good. Did you see top 100? Way different compared to 2 years ago. Yep. And that always happens. There's always a turnover. And there's even some good projects that end up getting dropped out of the top 100. It can happen. I've got a few of those. I mean, a lot of people are still down on Harmony One, but I think it's still going to do well. And that was one that dropped out. But yeah, so if you go to CoinMarketCap and you go all the way down, you go through the top 100, but then you go to page 2. It's like, what's on page 2? Here's Zilliqa at 101. I just don't think Zilliqa's ever going to really make it. I don't see it. People are talking about quantum. And then there was another one. Here's Fetch AI. So I've got a big bag of Fetch AI because I think that is going to move up to the top 100. So I've got some of that. I've got some Loopring here. This is at 118. I think that's going to move up back into the top 100. And I think there was one more I had. Wasn't Anchor. I don't even know where it is now on this list. Here it is, Yearn Finance. It's at 148 now. Oh, and here's Jasmy at 151. I've got a bit of Jasmy as well. So I've got a few of them that are outside of the top 100. But yeah, there's a lot of new names in the top 100 that weren't around 2 years ago. And that happens. Are they still going to be around 2 years from now? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Trading volume is up. Yep, trading volume has been up, which is good. But trading volume was up back here in July. We had some good trading of Doge. So we're at about that level again. I won't count the big dump here in August. That's not trading volume. That's dumping volume. We don't like talking about that. All right. What is Dogecoin? So this is an article from Forbes, and we had referenced this back in, this is April of 2023 when this was updated. And this Forbes article actually gives a good overview for Dogecoin. It talks about Billy Marcus and Jackson Palmer creating Doge in 2013. I had Jackson, little quote from him at the beginning of the stream here. And yes, Doge started early, got a lot of enthusiasm with a community of people that grew very quickly around Doge. They raised funds. The Jamaican bobsled team, they did water wells in Africa, all sorts of good things that were done. And then in 2021, we had the Reddit Wall Street Bets message board that when that whole GameStop thing was going on and then exchanges were freezing the trading of GameStop stock. A bunch of folks on Reddit decided to start buying Dogecoin and take it to the moon. Crazy trading. Doge went from a penny up to 8 cents. That was like an 8x in a day. Just craziness. And it retraced back down to like 3 cents or so, and then eventually took off again in April. And that was its history. And in May, went up to 68 cents. And then it just got, when it hit that 70 cents, that's when Barry Silbert started shorting it, and huge short positions were opened on Doge. Doge started going down, and then it was like a week later when Tesla halted payments for Tesla cars using Bitcoin because of the high energy use for mining Bitcoin, which caused Bitcoin to start crashing. And that bought everything down with it. And Doge went down with that as well. So all of that was tied to that. The FUD there was that Elon Musk's appearance on Saturday Night Live caused Dogecoin to crash. And that is FUD. Now, there was one unfortunate skit at the Weekend Update desk about the hustle, which a lot of us kind of think was off script maybe, and Elon might have been like not ready for that. We'll never know the story of that. But Dogecoin had already been going down through that day on May 8th, starting in the morning. And you can look at it on the charts. It was already going down. Because Barry Silbert, earlier that day, I think it was around noontime, had posted on Twitter and said, "The fun's over, guys. Convert your Dogecoin over to Bitcoin because we've opened a big ass short on Doge." We later found out that it was actually on FTX. Barry Silbert using FTX to short Dogecoin. Craziness. It's crazy. So those that say that Elon Musk and SNL caused Dogecoin to crash, that's FUD. That is not correct. Doge was already overbought by a lot. A lot of it was because of the anticipation of if Elon's appearance on Saturday Night Live, but also a lot of people were just buying in thinking Dogecoin was going to $1. And it was just overbought. And a lot of us held, I mean, I had a lot of Dogecoin. I still have that Dogecoin, never sold it, thinking Doge was going to $1. It was craziness. So that's the first bit of FUD. Dogecoin has some differences with Bitcoin. First, Dogecoin is quicker and easier for miners to complete the mathematical equations, to record the transactions, verify the transactions on the blockchain. So that makes Dogecoin more efficient for processing payments. That is not FUD. That is correct. Because Dogecoin's blocks are every minute. Bitcoin's is every 10 minutes. That difference between 10 minutes and 1 minute is huge. That's huge. And oh yeah, here it is. Where it takes 10 minutes for the process to ratify new blocks on the Bitcoin blockchain, it only takes 1 minute on the Dogecoin blockchain. The other significant difference, and this is the one where we've got some more FUD. There is, and the way they put it here is there's an absence of a lifetime cap on the number of Dogecoins that can be created. The FUDders say that Dogecoin is infinite. Well, over infinite time, Dogecoin is infinite, but it's not infinite like in a minute or in 10 minutes or per the day or per the year, because there's a fixed amount of new Dogecoin that is created every minute at most. And you can go to the Doge chain. This is dogechain.info. And you can see the new blocks being created here. And this $679 reward right there, that's 10,000 Dogecoin. And so this is the so-called inflation of Dogecoin. And you can see it live here on dogechain.info as these rewards are given. This is new Dogecoin being minted and being given to miners who secure the transactions on the blockchain, because Dogecoin has its own blockchain. It's a proof of work cryptocurrency. Now, this same kind of thing happens with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is inflationary right now. People don't see that, but Bitcoin is inflationary, and Bitcoin will continue to be inflationary for the next 100 years. However, with the Bitcoin halving, that inflation is cut in half every 4 years. Dogecoin doesn't have a halving. Dogecoins is the same 10,000 blocks or 10,000 Doge. I'm sorry, every minute. At most, there are some minutes where there aren't. See, here's like a 10-minute gap in new Doge being created. So it's not every minute there's 10,000 more Dogecoin created. Sometimes there's gaps. So Dogecoin has a steady inflation, fixed number of a maximum new Dogecoin that are created. But it's all, this is the security of Dogecoin, and this is what you're paying for. Nobody has ever hacked the Dogecoin blockchain. It's impossible. So we think. Hasn't happened yet, but it hasn't happened Bitcoin either. That's the security of Doge. So yes, low roller, the inflation percentage goes down each year. Not because people have lost their Dogecoin, although that adds to it. But the inflation as a percentage goes down because this year, as of now, there is 141 billion Dogecoin, right? Next year, that's going to be 142 or 143 or 144, somewhere in there, billion Dogecoin. But that 10,000 new Dogecoin every minute is the same. So on a percentage basis, it goes down. The percentage of new Dogecoin, or the number of new Dogecoin that are created, divided by the total number. So it's a decreasing percentage. So kind of interesting. Kind of interesting. So that's not completely untrue that Dogecoin is infinite. It's just not infinite right away. It's a fixed number over a period of time, which is what makes Dogecoin good as a currency. Because what's going to happen to Bitcoin 100 years from now? The miners are going to go away. There'll be some administrative rewards of some, I don't even know what they're going to do. Bitcoin will have a hard cap, right? No more Bitcoin will be created. So what happens to Bitcoin? We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. But Doge keeps churning away, and these miners that are mining Dogecoin, I think that mining is going to get more competitive over time, is what I think is going to happen. And you're going to see a lot more, a much bigger hash rate in Dogecoin mining is going to happen, which could end up making Dogecoin more valuable to miners than Bitcoin. Won't that be something? Dogecoin actually, through its coding, is more true to the Bitcoin white paper than Bitcoin is. Because it's all about, digital currency. People aren't spending their Bitcoin. They don't want to spend their Bitcoin. It's the store of value, right? But Doge, yeah. Yes, Doge. And here's Doge just continuing to churn away. $680, $680, $679, $600. These are 10,000 Doge just about every minute of new Doge being created. That's what this is. Kind of interesting. Kind of interesting. So the other big FUD that I hope people now have figured out, but every once in a while I still see stuff, comments in the chat on Cryptos R Us, George's channel or someone else's channel when he starts talking about Doge, and then someone says, well, Elon owns, the largest number of Dogecoin. And it's like, no. Dogecoin is held, most of those big wallets that hold Dogecoin are exchanges. They're exchanges. We go to the top 100 richest Dogecoin wallets, and we've got this one here, DEG. This number one wallet's got 32 billion Dogecoin, now worth $2 billion, 23% of the total supply. This is Robinhood. Robinhood has this wallet. Now, this isn't the same as the DH5 wallet that 2 years ago everybody was worried about. However, there was this article, and we covered this. I've covered this a number of times in different videos. May 21st, 2021, who owns the mystery Dogecoin whale address? And not only myself did research, but others on Reddit did research as well to find out what's the deal with this DH5 wallet. And they went through and they looked at, because you can do that yourself here. You can go and you can look at the address itself. You click on the address. You can do this yourself on BitInfo charts, and you can see when this was created. Like here in June, all of these transactions of 800 million Dogecoin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all of these in May. So for May, so this wallet was created in May of 2023. This is a new wallet that Robinhood created. And what they did was they transferred all of this Dogecoin from one cold storage wallet to another. They do this for security reasons, is what they do it for. So this is all owned by Robinhood. And you can go and you can check each of these transactions and you can see where this Doge came from. So you click on that one, for instance, right? You'll go through and you'll be able to see, well, this came from a wallet that was DDUX. So you can go to that wallet. Now this wallet was a big Robinhood wallet, and they just funneled a lot of the Dogecoin through this wallet. And then you can see where that Dogecoin came from before here. You can go and click on that, and you can find another wallet, this DPDL wallet. And this was the #1 wallet here in August of 2022. And before that, it was 0. So that was a new wallet there. So this is Robinhood creating wallets, moving the cold storage Doge from one wallet to another. And it's just for security reasons is all it is. Now, whose Doge is this? Well, they asked Vlad Tenev. There's Vlad. He's the CEO of Robinhood. And what Vlad said was, we don't have significant positions in any of the coins that we keep on a proprietary basis or anything like that. That quote got a lot of people fudding that Robinhood didn't own that wallet. But what this actually means is Robinhood didn't buy a bunch of Dogecoin for themselves in order to profit from it. Let me go back. What this wallet is, this DEG wallet now, is your Dogecoin and my Dogecoin. I still own Dogecoin on Robinhood. And guess where my Dogecoin is? It's right there. That wallet right there, that's where my Dogecoin is. And your Dogecoin, if you own Dogecoin on Robinhood, that's where it is. And they've got a few other wallets as well. They've got like 3 or 4 cold storage wallets and a hot wallet that they have for those that want to transfer Doge. Like you now have the ability on Robinhood in most states to be able to transfer your Dogecoin off of Robinhood. You can transfer it to a ledger. You can transfer it to Coinbase. I don't know why you would want to do that. To a Trust wallet, Exodus wallet, or even to another person's wallet individually. You can do that. It doesn't come out of this big wallet here, the one that 32 billion Dogecoin. They've got other wallets as well. And one of them is their so-called hot wallet. And that's the one that they use to funnel Dogecoin out for those that are transferring Doge. So that is your wallet, your Dogecoin, and my Dogecoin is there. And not only is that Robinhood's, but this DE5 wallet, this #3 wallet, this has been identified as being a Binance wallet. as well as the number 9 wallet is another one that's a Binance wallet. All of these exchanges are supposed to have the number of coins that are held on their exchange by the buyers. Now, of course, FTX, right, didn't do this, right? This is what this whole Sam Bankman-Fried trial is about, right? Bunch of people loaded up a bunch of cash onto the FTX exchange and they bought crypto, right? But instead, FTX sent that cash over to Alameda Research, right, to do whatever. And they didn't have the backup of the coins that were held by their customers, right, that their customers bought. They didn't have it. So Coinbase and Robinhood and other United States exchanges need to prove on an audit basis to the SEC that they actually have the coins. So when they're audited, they can say, look, here's all of the purchases of Dogecoin on our exchange, and it's 32 billion Dogecoin. And guess what? We've got this wallet right here that's got 32 billion Dogecoin in it. So the audit works. And it's not only them too. Here's Kraken right here. Number 14 wallet is Kraken. And then there's another one. There's another Binance one. Here's Crypto.com's wallet here. Crypto.com has 245 million Dogecoin. And those are just the ones that are identified. I think Webull is one of these that's up here too. It just hasn't been identified which one's Webull's. But there's other exchanges too. So those that are saying that there's too many whales that own too much of the Dogecoin and they can just dump it at any time and crash Dogecoin to zero is FUD. It's all FUD. Because this Dogecoin that's in this wallet is yours and mine. As Mars says, Robinhood has all my Doge. That's right. And guess where your Doge is, Mars? It's right here. This is your Dogecoin right there. It's in there. Because these exchanges don't have individual wallet addresses. When you buy Dogecoin on Robinhood, you don't have a seed phrase. Now they now have a third-party wallet that you can now create, and you can transfer, right, Dogecoin into that wallet. And then you've got a seed phrase. So you can do that now. In most states. There are some states still that Robinhood doesn't let you do those transfers. But Coinbase as well has got one of these big wallets, because there's a lot of people who buy Dogecoin on Coinbase and they just leave it there. They don't transfer it to a Coinbase wallet. They don't transfer it to their own wallet. And so they don't have the seed phrase. They don't own that cryptocurrency. They just sort of bought the rights to it. And that Dogecoin is all sitting in one of these wallets. We don't know which one is the Coinbase one. For security reasons, it's probably good that the exchanges don't publicize which wallets are there. But people have figured it out. And that's why a lot of these are in green on BitInfo charts. I'm surprised that they haven't relabeled this one as Robinhood, when the DH5 wallet was identified as Robinhood, and it was on here as Robinhood when it was the number one. But then Robinhood started transferring the coins, because then it was public knowledge that that was Robinhood's wallet. And Robinhood doesn't want everyone knowing which big wallet is their cold storage wallet. So then they started transferring their Dogecoin from wallet to wallet to wallet. And they do that every few months. That's for security reasons. So there's that FUD. What else? There's a lot of stuff. Motley Fool. Oh God, the Motley Fool. They come out with these Dogecoin FUD articles every week. Every week. Now I'll get to Doge 1 in a minute. So here's the first one. You may not be able to sell when you want to. So Robinhood did have a problem back in late January, early February of 2021. And that the exchange delayed transactions, buying and selling of Dogecoin. And that was, and I'm on the daily here, and I'll go back. Look at the volume spikes that Dogecoin has every once in a while. Big volume spikes that happen with Doge. Well, if you go all the way back to here, this is the end of January, beginning of February of 2021. Look at those big green spikes in volume. Just unbelievable amount of trading. They weren't ready for that. They were not ready for that much trading. That is the most volume in Dogecoin's history happened in those days. So Robinhood had to delay the trading of Dogecoin because they just got overwhelmed. And that was bad of Dogecoin's exchange to not be able to handle that many transactions. But that is what happened. Hopefully, Robinhood has fixed those issues. So when this happens again, and it will happen again, there will be something that's going to cause Dogecoin to have this huge volume. Robinhood better not slow down the trading, or they'll just be abandoned. They'll just be abandoned. But that's what that was. Now, the GameStop trading that was on a number of exchanges, that was all games being played by Citadel and other of those third-party order flow stock companies that were trying to throttle the short squeezers for GameStop. That's what that was. And Robinhood did cave on that. And that's unfortunate. Yes. But that wasn't Doge. And what they're saying here is, let's say Dogecoin goes to $1. Everyone's going to want to sell. As soon as people start to sell, the price will fall. That's with anything. If you get a huge number of people that all of a sudden start selling something, guess what? The price is going to go down. That's not specific to Dogecoin. That's anything. You get a crap ton of people selling Pepe token. Pepe is going to drop fast, a lot faster than Dogecoin will. Like I said earlier, Dogecoin has this big liquidity that Pepe doesn't have. You get the same amount of volume of selling of Pepe. Pepe will drop like a rock. So that's FUD. Dogecoin could get hacked. No, Dogecoin cannot get hacked. It can't. It's the safest blockchain there is. Back in 2013, about $12,000 was stolen in a Dogecoin wallet hack. So that wasn't Dogecoin blockchain. That was some wallet. Next year, Sheebs lost an estimated $750,000 in Doge fraud. Now, here's what Motley Fool says. These were not direct hacks on the blockchain, but they do highlight that Dogecoin is not immune. Well, that's any cryptocurrency can have a wallet hack or have fraud, right? That's not specific to Dogecoin. So this has nothing to do with Dogecoin. Again, FUD. There's one anonymous Dogecoin whale. Here we go again. 28% of all Dogecoin in existence. We just talked about this. That's Robinhood. Come on. So all of this crap that just keeps getting published again and again, if they did any of their research, ridiculous. Ridiculous. Shall I continue? No, I think you guys get the picture. There's a bunch of other stuff on here I was going to cover, but it's like, ugh. Risk of loss. Yes, you can have a risk of loss of anything. Buying into cryptocurrency is always at a risk, whether it's Dogecoin or Pepe or even Bitcoin. There's a risk there. It could all go to zero, right? So that's not Doge specifically. That's anything. Potential lack of decentralization? No. There's no cap of Dogecoin supply. And its foundation, body responsible supporting it, implies that its governance might not be centralized. Dogecoin is the most decentralized. Do you know why? Because Dogecoin had a fair launch. There weren't pre-mined coins that were given out. When Dogecoin was created, it just started. Everyone was zero. Billy and Jackson didn't mint themselves a bag load of Dogecoin. They started with zero, just like everybody else. And if they wanted some, they bought some. That's how it started. The fairest launch of any cryptocurrency was Dogecoin. And Bitcoin too, for that matter. Yes. There wasn't any pre-mining or airdrops or anything for Bitcoin either. It was just let out into the world. Centralization. No, there's none. And you can see it when you look at the wallets. The fairest of fair right here. And a lot of these big wallets, again, are exchanges, like I said before. It's one of the most decentralized cryptocurrencies there is Dogecoin. Okay, I blabbered on enough. Let me get to the chat here, what you guys are talking about, because I can go on and on and on here, and I'm just like, where am I here? 682. Oh, we had a little bit of run earlier while I was ranting here. Almost came out of my purple box, but not quite. We're still in the purple box. Thank you, Switch to Kryptonite. Yep. Again, any questions you guys have about Dogecoin, I will ask when I can. Thank you, JS. Appreciate it. Just scrolling up here. Ooh, Barry Silbert. Yeah. I have a feeling, hey, Freddie, I have a feeling everything will drop sharply and will rise again to all-time high next year. Expect one last dump. 50%? Probably not at this point. And the reason I don't think it's going to drop 50%, it's because of this impending Bitcoin spot ETF. The big boys are not going to want to be out of the game. That's why Bitcoin isn't dropping. Look at Bitcoin, now back up over 34K. Look at Bitcoin. You're just not having the big selling because they don't want to be out of the game when the spot Bitcoin ETFs launch, because Bitcoin is going to spike. Most likely in price, Bitcoin's going to spike. So Bitcoin's not dropping. Yeah, we had a little sell-off earlier. And this is just fear because of the war. Like we showed earlier in the stream, Bitcoin dropped, Dogecoin dropped, but gold spiked up. And that's what happens to many investors when there's a war. As Israel now has tanks moving into Gaza, right? So they take their risky investments and they move them over to safe investments like bonds and gold. And that's what happened today. This is going to go back to Bitcoin, I think. Probably next week. We're going to see gold come back down and Bitcoin is going to go higher, probably up to 35K. I think we're going to see 35K Bitcoin next week because it's just going to happen. There's excitement about these Bitcoin spot ETFs. So, yes. What else did I miss? I'm not going to be able to get everything. Sorry, I was ranting for a while. I wish Elon would guest again on Saturday Night Live. Yeah, that's not going to happen. I feel bad. People diamond-handed GameStop and AMC. Yeah. I haven't seen that movie yet, that Crazy Money movie. I don't know if anyone saw that, but I'll watch it when it starts streaming probably. Because somebody made a lot of money selling GameStop stock at the right time. I've got a bunch of AMC now, but it's not going to do what AMC did a couple of years ago. That's probably not going to happen. People lost their Dogecoin since they forgot about it. That's true. There's a lot of dead wallets. And we think that this one, there's one of these that was 2014 that has never had a set, or this one, which one was it? There was one of these big ones. That was created in 2014 and has never had a sale. Yeah, I don't see it off the top of my head now, real quickly. But yeah, someone, yeah, well, it was this one. No, that says Cripsy. Yeah, I can't find it right now. But there was one that had a crap ton of Dogecoin. That's most likely somebody just lost their keys. So, yep, that happens. And that can happen with any cryptocurrency, not just Doge. We will all be dead when Bitcoin stops mining 100 years from now. That's true. But our future generations will be around. And are you going to be giving them some of your Bitcoin, right? Got to do your will, right? Pass along your Bitcoin, your other crypto. But somewhere along the line, that Bitcoin, if it's still being held, what's going to happen 100 years from now when there's no more mining of Bitcoin? I don't know. Yeah, and this was the question switch. Robinhood owns all that Doge personally, or is that the combined total of the owners of Doge? And that's what it is. All of that Dogecoin is the combined total of those who bought Dogecoin on the Robinhood platform and haven't transferred it off. That's what that is. When crypto becomes popular again, the newbies are going to show up and they're going to be buying Dogecoin on Robinhood. Absolutely. And it's going to be craziness all over again. And that could happen with Doge 1. We don't know. But Doge 1 could have a lot of marketing with it and a lot of people hearing about Dogecoin. Maybe. $1 is inevitable. Anything beyond that is a blessing. Yep. And what's going to happen with X Twitter? X Twitter, I'm going to do a video this weekend on the latest on X Twitter and financial payments and all those things and how Doge could fit in with that. Could be huge for Dogecoin. How much of an effect do you anticipate Doge launch will have on the price? Big. Big. That's going to be a huge opportunity for Doge to be out there in the public again and being in the news. And yes, that's going to be good trading for Doge. Absolutely. Only trust Coinbase and Robinhood. Ariel, I believe that too. I have some Doge on Coinbase. This 75,000 Dogecoin, which is in this Kriss DCA wallet. That 75,000 Doge is on Coinbase because I bought all of this on Coinbase. And we're going to sell all of this at the top of the bull market. I'm just keeping it there. I trust Coinbase. It's a publicly traded company. It's not like FTX, which was privately held in the Bahamas, right? And it's not one of those Voyagers or Celsiuses, right? These crazy earn programs. So yeah, I trust it. I trust it. I still recommend hardware wallets though for safekeeping. So think about that. Thank you, JS. Robinhood was smart enough to stay away from FTX. Yep, that is true. That is true. Bum, 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 bum. Has the Doge already been purchased for the moon mission? My understanding is that the GEC company had to pay SpaceX in Dogecoin because they're the ones who have made the, well, there's two companies, right? One made the moon lander, one made the CubeSat. And the CubeSat part is the part that's Dogecoin. And they have developed the CubeSat, but they're paying SpaceX in Dogecoin for the SpaceX rocket to take their CubeSat into the lunar orbit. That's what the payment is. My understanding is they have already paid SpaceX. SpaceX, being a privately held company, does not have to release that information of how much Dogecoin they own. So that transaction is private. But we think that's already happened, actually. And they're just waiting for the launch date now to happen because the CubeSat is ready. The lunar lander is ready. And now it's up to SpaceX and their rockets getting on the right pad at the right schedule and getting all that done. And I made a video about that last week. If you want to hear my video on that, go on to my YouTube channel and check out my Doge 1 to the moon launch date from 8 days ago. Check out that video because that's the one where I go through all of the detail of the possible launch dates. It looks like it's not going to happen in November. It's probably going to be December. I heard someone else saying maybe February. Again, there hasn't been an official announcement from SpaceX or Elon, so I'll believe the date when I hear it from them. That's what I'm waiting for. Robinhood is not going to add Doge, Elon, Mars, or Floki. They're not going to add those tokens. They added SHIB because SHIB had such a huge following, and SHIB is also a top 20 cryptocurrency. There's SHIB, number 19, right there. So SHIB grew big enough for Robinhood to say, okay, we'll take on SHIB. Not Floki or Doge Elon, though. I don't see Robinhood ever adding them. And also, I mean, SHIB now, they've got the whole Shibarium, right? They've created this thing. I heard Floki came out with some new token and they're going to get involved in some gaming or something. Robinhood doesn't care about that. They don't. Some will start selling at 80, 90 cents. It would be very hard to hold if it started climbing that high. I think there's going to be a lot of selling probably at 74 cents, which was the last all-time high. There's going to be a lot of selling pressure for Doge when it gets up to those heights again, because people aren't going to be diamond handing it this time. I believe that. So yeah, it's going to be tough for Doge to get to $1. It's going to be really tough. So, yes, Billy Marcus sold the Dogecoin that he had. Actually, he didn't buy a Honda Civic. And I had asked Billy this question when I interviewed him a couple years ago. And I think he had a rent payment due, and it was about the price of a Honda Civic. He like in some interview, he compared it to a Honda Civic. I think he actually didn't buy a car with it. He had to pay rent. I think that's what it was. Something like that. A lot of people buy Doge for fun, but there are some who are buying it with expectations to get rich. Yes. Thank you, Flow Finder. Appreciate it. That's what I do on this channel. Try and make things as clear as I can make them, particularly when it comes to this FUD stuff. And then particularly with Dogecoin, because there's so many anti-Doge people, and I don't get it. Like even the Bitcoin maxis. It's like, do you know how many people now own Bitcoin by investors who first bought Dogecoin? And Dogecoin was their introduction to cryptocurrency. And then once they got into cryptocurrency, they started looking around. They bought Doge first, though. And then they're like, oh, I should probably buy some Bitcoin. And so they buy Bitcoin. But they started with Doge. It's good for cryptocurrency overall. I think it would be good for Bitcoin maxis to actually applaud Dogecoin, support Dogecoin. It makes it all better. You can't be fighting against other cryptos. It's all one big happy family, in my opinion. Now, we do got some outliers that aren't great. I do not support anymore these ERC20 tokens and these BSC tokens. The pump and dumpers and all these, just, I can't support them. I like Dogecoin because it has its own blockchain. I believe in a lot of these other projects like Render and other things that have real use cases, real utility, are really doing things. So I support those. Straight lines don't exist. Be prepared for the dips. That's always true. That's always true, particularly what we saw with Doge. Again, what I started talking about was this dump here that we had earlier today. And a lot of that has to do with liquidity and trading. Bitcoin came down, but it traded right back up. Dogecoin has not come back up. It stayed down here. And a lot of it was because of this big run that Dogecoin had here the other day. And there just wasn't enough trading in that area where Doge came back down, and that's where we're seeing trading again. So I drew this purple rectangle here that I think Doge is going to trade in possibly throughout the weekend. I'd like to see it come back out of this and go ahead and challenge 7 cents again and maybe get back over 7, but we'll see. But that's what I'm looking at right now, short term. Hope it flies high. Me too. Twitter will charge $1. Hope it falls because I don't want to pay Twitter. Would you pay Twitter if you could do it with Dogecoin? I don't think there's going to be a Dogecoin ETF. I don't think there would be enough. I don't think there'd be financial institutions, at least, let's say in this decade, right, that would seriously consider a Dogecoin ETF. But if Doge is being used solidly as payments on X Twitter, and X Twitter actually revolutionizes the whole payment system in-app payments and using it for everything else that PayPal does, but doing it and enabling Dogecoin at that scale, that's the potential we're talking about. And then you might actually see Doge starting to be taken more seriously. There'll always be those that are going to make fun of Doge. But you know what Billy Marcus did? He actually created a very good cryptocurrency, even though it was supposed to be a joke. It's turning out, the more we look at it, and here we are almost 10 years later, and it's actually doing more, in my opinion, for what Satoshi's vision of what Bitcoin was supposed to be. Doge is actually doing a better job at fulfilling that Bitcoin white paper. Go look at the Bitcoin white paper. Take a look at it. And then just substitute Dogecoin for Bitcoin, and you'll be like, oh yeah, Doge actually works better than Bitcoin. Jackson Palmer created the idea. He's the one who came up with the idea, but he wasn't the coder. He needed somebody to code it. Billy coded it. Because Billy, again, I had interviewed Billy a couple of years ago when we went through the whole thing. Litecoin is a fork of Bitcoin. Lucky Coin was a fork of Litecoin. Then Billy Marcus, before he created Dogecoin, he created another cryptocurrency first called Bells. And it was based on, it was a fun thing that he created because he had heard about this cryptocurrency thing, but he's like into games. And he created this Animal Crossing cryptocurrency called Bells that had this sort of infinite supply. And he coded that. And it was out for a while and nobody bought it. Nobody did anything with it. But then when he saw Jackson Palmer's thing about Dogecoin, he responded to Jackson and he said, hey, you know, I could do this. I can make this cryptocurrency for you. So that's what the relationship was between Jackson and Billy. Jackson had the idea. Billy actually made the code because he had already made Bells. And all he did with Bells then, the so-called like 10 minutes to create a cryptocurrency, he already had it all. He just changed the name to Doge. And then he spent most of his time getting the font to read out in Comic Sans. That was it. And then Dogecoin was born. Crazy, huh? Do you think there's a chance Doge 1 mission launches alongside X's launch of Doge integration? No. Doge 1 mission will happen before that. I think it's going to take X Twitter a long time to get the Doge integration or however they end up doing it figured out. It's just going to take longer. So I think we have to be a little patient there. A little patient. You think the Bitcoin ETFs are coinciding with Bitcoin bull run? Yeah, kind of interesting how that timing is working out. It could be coincidence. But, you know, thinking about BlackRock, Fidelity, Vanguard, all of those. I mean, we talk about the 4-year cycles. They have to know about the 4-year cycles. What better time to create an ETF than right at the beginning of a bull market? If those 4-year cycles actually play out like they do. Yeah. Yep. People sell 1 to 2 cents in the last bull run. They got mad. Why they sell Dogecoin too early? If they held it for 4 years. Yeah. it's all about holding Dogecoin and then selling at some point in time. You're never going to hit the top. I've heard of a few people that sold Doge at 60, 70 cents, but not many. Most were holding at that time, thinking that Dogecoin was going to keep going up to $1. By the time it was getting shorted, it was already down to 50 cents. Started to make a little recovery from 40 back up, and everyone thought, okay, that's just the dip. It's going to go back up. And then Elon did his Tesla thing with Bitcoin, and then the whole market dumped. I don't know how many people were selling on the way down. There were probably some, but then it was 30 cents and 20 cents, and that all happened really fast. You can go look at it on the charts. What happened in May into June of 2021. It all happened fast. So there weren't a lot that really sold at the top. That all happened fast. But this time around, people are going to be selling. They're going to be taking profits. And I'm going to take a little profit too. My little profit that I'm taking isn't going to affect the Dogecoin price. Not that much. But everyone doing it, yeah, it'll have some effect. It'll have some effect. New Dogecoin newbie buying at 70, 80 cents. Wouldn't sell until $5, maybe. Some politicians bought Doge in the bull run. They admit they own Dogecoin. Maybe. It would be neat if X paid content makers in Doge. Wouldn't that be great? I think that's the easiest thing. Yeah, I think that's the easiest thing for X Twitter to do. I agree with you. Just think that would be great marketing if they did it at the same time. Yeah, probably different though. Doge one will go first. But yeah, it would be easier for X Twitter to pay out content creators in Dogecoin than to have this whole on-app payment thing going. I mean, we've already seen how Tesla, I bought my Tesla Cyber Whistle with Dogecoin. That was wallet-to-wallet transfer. So an Elon company already has experience with Dogecoin payments directly. So, all right, gang, that's the Dogecoin FUD of the day. Hopefully I've cleared a lot of things up. You can always leave a comment below. I'll be live again Monday, 5 o'clock, talking Doge and other cryptos. Probably have a video coming out over the weekend talking about X Twitter and payments, and that stuff. That'll be a good one. So look for that. I don't think there's going to be that much else new over the weekend. So we'll pick it up again on Monday. So I hope everyone has a great weekend, and we'll see you next time.
Dogecoin, which started as a complete joke, has skyrocketed to not a joke anymore. It hit an all-time high of almost 10 cents yesterday, but it was so minuscule you wouldn't have understood why you have millions of shares.
Didn't Elon tweet that too?
And arguably, the most entertaining outcome and the most ironic outcome would be that Dogecoin becomes the currency of Earth in the future.